this without laughing.
We'll make it work.
Let's go ahead and get this started, I guess.
Pip, pip, cheerio, and welcome to another episode of You'll Never Talk Alone.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I'm your host, Alex Level, and now you can see why I don't host very often, because that's my intro. Joined today by Will Caves and Andrew Ainsworth. Guys, how are you doing?
It's lit.
This podcast is more makeshift than our defense earlier this week.
Hey! That's right. We had a game this week. We played against Bayern Munich at Anfield. Ended 0-0. We'll discuss whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll discuss if we played well or if we played poorly. And we'll do that right now. Andrew, how do you feel that match went overall? Are you happy or sad with the result?
You always prefer to win, but I think it was still a great result. I mean, 0-0, I think we'll go away to Bayern and we'll score. Hopefully we'll open up a little bit more space there. Hopefully they'll attack a little bit more in the game. So, I'll take it. I don't love drawing at home. I would rather win, but all things said, it was a great game to watch, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and Will, Barney Rona in his piece about Jordan Henderson today, which is on The Guardian, it's a really good piece, he kind of described it as our home games are actually our away games, because when we go away, it's more likely that people will play against us and we'll have more space. Did you feel like Bayern shut up shop, or was this a pretty open game overall, or were there no goals because both teams were bad?
Well, there were no goals because Mane couldn't shoot. That's the only reason there were no goals. I don't really feel like they played super defensively. I mean, they were really set up to play the counterattack really well, and they looked dangerous. Gnabry or not? Is the G silent? Gnabry?
I've heard it both ways. I think it's Gnabry.
Serge. I don't even know how to pronounce his first name. That guy. Former Arsenal starlet Serge Gnabry gave Andy a run for his money. I thought they looked dangerous going forward. So to answer your question, no, I don't think they set up to play defensively, but I do think they were looking to counter. Luckily, we had Megatron Henderson playing, and it didn't happen. But I mean, I'm happy with a point at home. We didn't lose. Bayern is a team, like, we could have either team could have easily won that game 3-0 or like 1-1, it could have been a 1-1 draw, or, that game could literally go anyway. And so I was happy with a point. I do think there's something to that Guardian article. I did read it, that basically they'll open up because they'll be trying to win, and that's when we'll be able to get them. I think we are more likely to score a goal away than against that kind of team at Anfield, because, as I've said, if they come at us, we can beat them. We can beat anybody that comes at us. So I'm excited,
especially with Joshua Kimmich being suspended for the next leg. I think that is huge for us, and we'll get Virgil back. And yeah, they definitely came out to play because they did have Javi Martinez in defense. Goretzka missed out with an injury, which actually helped us quite a bit. But they didn't actually play him as a defensive mid. They played Thiago back there to spray the ball around and pass it to the wingers. And that did give us a lot of trouble. This is probably the first match that we've seen both fullbacks look human. Usually it's one or the other that is not having a great game, but this time they were playing against really, really good players, so it's not surprising that they had some trouble. But Andrew, how did you feel our defense did overall, considering it was kind of thrown together?
I mean, they didn't score. Sometimes we definitely looked a little bit shaky at the back, had some last-ditch efforts. Fabinho had 2 really big tackles there in the second half. And, you've got to give it to him for showing up and being able to defend that Bayern attack, who, I mean, they've had struggles on defense. But but going forward, they've still been able to score in Bundesliga. So we were able to keep them to a draw, 0-0. Next game, we'll have Virgil back. And if we play the way that we played yesterday, I don't see them scoring a goal against that same back line, but with Virgil and Fabinho in front of them.
Yeah, I don't think they even had a shot on target, actually.
They didn't.
The closest shot was Matip kicking it off of Alisson's chest, which was very terrifying. And that was probably the closest he got to putting a shot on target, because I described him as a back line, but really he was our center forward, because all of our best chances fell to Joel Matip, unfortunately, who seems to have no composure in front of goal, which is understandable considering he's a center back. But it was just really unfortunate. The volley that he attempted was particularly hilarious. I don't even know what body shape that was, but it wasn't the right one, that's for sure. Will, you mentioned Henderson's immense display. How did you feel about the three that we played? We usually see Gini, Milner, Henderson in European competitions, but we saw Keita step in. Do you think that three worked together? Do you think it was balanced, or was it lacking something?
With Henderson playing like that, how can it not be balanced? He was awesome yesterday. We don't normally. He sometimes will have quietly good games, but we don't normally sit here and talk about how good he was. But especially in the first half, dude was good. He was all over the place. Even I can't remember when it happened. I want to say it was before halftime, but he ran down Gnabry, who is like sprints as fast as Olympic sprinters, and he ran him down and just muscled him off the ball. That was awesome. The midfield three was interesting. I thought Gini kind of got bullied a little bit, but he still had a good game. But Keita, of course you play Keita against a Bundesliga team and he's going to do well. But I thought I won't say he's fully redeemed the rest of his performances, but he was definitely, this is not the same player that we've been watching play in the Premier League the past few months. He was really good.
Yeah, he seemed a lot more comfortable. And like we've said before about Gini, he was kind of the glue that brought out the best in the other two. They both put in good individual performances, but together they created a lot. They funneled it to the attacking three quite a bit. But Andrew, it seemed like every time someone in the attacking third tried to pass or tried to dribble, it just wouldn't come off. We kept hitting it right to them. We kept shanking passes. Our shots were hilariously bad. Do you think it was just a bad day at the office, or do you think that it was something systematic? We pushed Salah back out right. We put Bobby, butt cork Firmino back in central striker. So what do you think was going on?
I don't want to completely attribute it to a bad day, because you saw their back line, as makeshift as it is, not as makeshift as ours, but Kimmich was amazing, and he was really a force to be reckoned with the whole game. I might say it has something to do with the change in formation, just because you don't see as many balls across that front line as you usually see. We were, hitting it out wide to Andy, and Andy was a lot of times having trouble crossing it into the box, but we were reverting back to crossing it in, taking it slow. We did see that chance with Mane, but he slipped on the ball, unfortunately. Just an unbelievably bad shot. Our finishing was just terrible, but if you do think about it, Salah's best chance was that long ball from Henderson, which we didn't mention was an amazing pass.
So good.
But it was a one-touch shot running full speed. That was really his best chance in the game. Mane's best chance was a ball that kind of pinged to him, and he just flat-footed missed it, slipped over. Firmino, I can't think of a great chance that he had. during the game where he really had the ball under his feet. So we were having trouble passing it, but also their defense was all over the place. They were pushing us around. So I'm just hoping next game we can really have that speed up front to be able to bypass that back line and get some movement in front of goal.
Yeah, and get a little more creative, I guess. I know we work on that pattern of play a lot, but I know we all noticed that every time we were countering quickly, we knew that it was going to be a diagonal ball to Andy Robertson to cross in first time every time. And I feel like there's got to be at least one other option. I don't know if we didn't back ourselves to complete that pass because we didn't complete any other type of passes in the attacking third the entire game, or if we were trying to go at Kimmich because he was on a yellow, and the commentators just would not stop talking about how we need to target Kimmich because he was on a yellow.
Right.
So maybe they heard that. So I don't know, but it was very interesting, very frustrating. I know I described it to some friends as a great game where neither keeper had to do very much work, which is impressive for a game to be so good without any shots or a bunch of like half chances.
Mm-hmm.
And one place that did not have any chances, and I open this up to both of you because it probably needs addressing, is that we've talked about it ad nauseum, but our corners are so bad. So what should we do instead? Should we go back to short corners like we did in preseason? Should we just kick it all the way back to the center backs? I mean, something's got to change because that is the kind of stuff that can separate and can open up those margins for victory. You see how many goals City have scored off of set pieces this season. I mean, they scored 2 against Everton to get a big victory in the stoppage time of both halves. It's something that it is kind of missing from our game. And do you think it could come back to bite us that we just are not a threat on set pieces at all?
So I think they're trying to do something. Like it happens too often to be like an error, if that makes sense. I can't imagine that that wouldn't be corrected. I feel like it's somehow intentional. Like maybe they're looking to the near post for a headed flick to the back post or something, like just trying to get everybody off. I don't know, but something's got to give. And what's interesting is that like you see different people taking corners, which is not that big of a deal, but like, can we get some consistent? Like, I'd rather give it to let Milner take all the corners this game, and if he sucks, let Mo take all the corners the next game, and if he sucks, let Trent take all the corners until we find something that works. But it's just it's super annoying. But I don't know. Something's got to change because it's kind of embarrassing. It's getting to the point where I'm like, oh, we get a corner. It's not an advantage.
It's like a goal kick.
Yeah, exactly.
You change who's taking the corner, and then you go near post every single time. And we've seen it for months. I mean, we can't go back to short corners because, I mean, let's face it, those didn't work either. I mean, we talked about how we only did short corners last year, and then we switch, and now we're going near post every single time. I kick it to the spot, just let someone go up and go for it. We've got Virgil in that game, but we've got Virgil, we've got Matip, we've got Fabinho, we've got some very tall guys that can go up and head the ball, and no one's doing it. We're going to the near post every single time.
Yeah, I feel like we change corner takers mostly just to try to cause confusion with marks, but it doesn't work because you're right. We hit the corner in the same spot every time. It's always an in-swinging corner, and it does seem like it's just for the near post flick on. And I guess percentage-wise, maybe they've calculated that that's the high percentage scoring chance area, just to try to flick it on back post and get a tap in or flick it in near post. I mean, I know Guardiola considers a low cross at the near post like half a goal already, just because it causes chaos, but not the way we serve it. So I don't know, but it's just towards the end of that game, I just remember thinking every time we were getting corners, like, we're not going to score on this. This isn't helping us. There's no, I don't know. For as tall as Matip is, he rarely ever wins headers on corners. And I mean, part of it's him, part of it's the lack of quality of service. So I don't know, but I feel like we need to address it or come up with something else because we're just kind of wasting them at this point. Even with free kicks.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's highlighted especially when you don't like even the bad ones. Like we went near post every single time this past game. Like sometimes they will go over and you see Virgil like fighting to get the ball and like trying to do it. But you know, when he's not there, Matip is built like a toothpick and you like he's not going to win a header and everybody else is 4 foot nothing. And so except for like Firmino. And so I would rather see us play it short in that instance. Like, you mean, because you're not like, how are you really going to outjump Manuel Neuer? Really? Like, it's not going to happen. And it's just, it is frustrating. I agree that it's just when, you know, you get a corner and you're like, oh, here we go. Instead of, oh, here we go. You know, it's just, it's different. And we got to do something.
I always wonder if it has anything to do with we're getting pretty good chances for second chances there off of corners. I think like a couple days ago or a couple games ago, I mean, one of the announcers said like Liverpool gets like has the second most goals off of second chances from set pieces in the league. So I'm curious if that's what it's for because we just know we can't score on a corner. So we're just like, well, we might get the second chance. I think it was after Milner had his assist from the second chance off the corner his last game. But either way, I mean, got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and maybe it's a German thing because I know in Das Reboot, just breaking out all the soccer books here, but they talked about how the German national team had never practiced set pieces until before the 2014 World Cup when they started scoring on set pieces. And they just never scored before that, really, even despite their size. They just never practiced them because they assumed they all knew how it worked, but it wasn't until they addressed it that it was a thing. And I don't know, maybe that's something we just don't pay as much attention to in training, but it's just surprising. And I guess we're more prone to noticing it because we watch Liverpool week in, week out, because it's not really talked about on any major sites, any major publications. Just kind of a weird phenomena for a professional team to just be so ineffective at a major part of the game. But I mean, we're great at throw-ins.
Well, I was going to say, I saw a couple throw-ins this game where I was like, what the heck are you doing? We pay for a throw-in coach. Like throwing it right off of a Bayern player, throwing it right to a Bayern player, like within 2 minutes in a row. Like I think it was Henderson and Trent. And like Trent takes his god dang time.
Yeah.
Every single time he has a throw in, I'm like thinking he's about to get a yellow.
For time wasting for no reason.
Yeah, time wasting in like the 5th minute of the game.
It's fun to complain about a 0-0 draw with Bayern Munich. This is great.
Yeah, and so just be like nitpicking very niche portions of the game.
Right.
Overall we were good. We just missed, weirdly enough, for this iteration of Liverpool, we were really bad in the attacking third. So it's nice to have confidence. It's nice to not be too bothered. It was nice to not have VAR be the talking point. I don't know where y'all stand on that, but it seems like that has turned into the focal point in a lot of matches, and I'm glad it didn't really play a part just because there weren't really that many fouls in our game. But there will be a lot of fouls this weekend, and there will be a lot of corner kicks that we're not going to win because we're playing a massive team this weekend.
Virgil, though.
Yeah. So, we'll have a taller head to underhit to. So, I mean, this is a big one. They've turned it around. My roommates are watching Lord of the Rings featuring Ole Gunnar Solskjaer right now, actually, outside. And I mean, at the beginning of Return of the King, when he's in full Smeagol getup, he looks exactly like him. It's scary.
It's the teeth.
He does. It's
the eyes too.
It's definitely the eyes. So just it's once you see it, you can't unsee it. Oh no, it's true though. He's Andy Serkis's little brother. It's crazy. I think this game is interesting, especially since United just got the pants beat off of them. The interesting thing about their run is that they have it's been I feel like they may have gone on this run anyway. Regardless of Solskjaer, this would have been they would have probably gotten all the points they've gotten recently, or most of them at least.
I mean, with anybody but Mourinho, you mean?
Yeah, with anybody but Mourinho aside. But what they're missing, Martial is out, Lingard is out. So, I mean, Virgil versus Lukaku, okay, I'll take that. But Andy versus Sanchez, okay, let's go. This isn't that aspect of it doesn't really scare me. However, it's at Old Trafford. There's always going to be some shenanigans. We historically don't do awesome there, and so I am nervous. But I think this will be a fun game.
Andrew, you feeling in a similar way?
Yeah, I mean their front line, bar Pogba. I mean, they're going to have some issues, especially if Fabinho can hold them. I don't see how Lukaku is going to do anything against Verge.
I don't know if Lukaku will play, honestly. Like I said his name, it said his name too, but
who's going to start?
He could start on the right. I could see him.
Yeah, maybe on the right
in the cup.
I mean, he usually from the games I've watched, he's first sub for that front three. Even then, he's too slow, and the only way he can get by defenders if he's bigger than them, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
We got to worry about Pogba. He's been on a tear.
He's so
playing,
good.
Yeah, he's
good.
playing like they always wanted him to play.
That haircut, though, I can't do it.
It really upsets me because I was just hoping he had been so terrible. Not terrible. He had just been bad for Manchester United. And I was hoping that he would have to see out his contract there and go somewhere else and be good. And then that's just another time that he went to Manchester United and was bad. But no, he's been really, really good.
Really good.
And I don't know. We got Milner, so it's okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's reminding everyone why he was such a big part of that Juventus midfield. I mean, he is brilliant. Pogba's brilliant. Unfortunately, Herrera stepped it up. He's kind of stopped being as much of a butthole and started playing more like he did when he was at Bilbao, when he was actually pretty good. So that's another one we have to watch out for, those late runs. Mm-hmm. But one thing that will help us, I think, is that they're so counterattack focused. And Pogba has the ability to pick out those long passes to Rashford running in the channels. But we have a very pacey back line with Andy and Trent, and with just the colossal strides of our gigantic center backs, which will help us tremendously. And one-on-one, they're all very solid. Maybe Matic's probably the weakest one-on-one, but we can take them on. Trent won't get burned by Rashford like he did. I guess it was last year. So I back us to counter their strengths very well, especially with their preferred front three likely not to feature due to injuries. So I think we match up well. A big question is with the performances and Virgil coming back in. Andrew, who do you think starts in midfield? So it's kind of the one place where we actually have some rotation options. So is there a selection headache?
I mean,
people get sick. Sorry, before you answer that.
I wouldn't say it's a selection headache. I wouldn't say that. I think we could start multiple players, but it seems like Klopp is moving towards Fabinho, Gini, Keita. That's who he played against Manchester United last time. He saw something there, even early in the season. where Keita wasn't playing as often. So I think we start that same midfield.
Will, do you agree?
I think Hendo starts over Fabinho. I think you see the same midfield from the Bayern game. And Fabinho will be an early sub ish, early, like maybe on the hour.
Yeah, I'm having an internal struggle because it seems to make more sense to bring Fabinho up, but at the same time, it's hard to drop Henderson after one of his best performances in the past couple years. So I don't know. I do think that the two in front of whoever is playing in the 6 as Genie and Naby is pretty nailed on. I think it's going to be those two for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Genie is the linchpin of our midfield. Naby's growing into form, and the best thing for him right now is to continue playing and to continue starting. It's just that's what's good for his confidence, and you can see it on the ball that he's growing in confidence. So I don't know. I could see Fabinho in there for the passing range that we saw in the first game against United, but also Henderson's movement, Henderson's ability to cycle the ball side to side. And I mean that complimentary this time to change the point of attack. I don't know. There's reasons to play both of them, but it'll be interesting because this is away and they do favor counterattacking even at home. So I don't know. It's kind of a crapshoot, but it's nice to have a problem where the selection headache ish is due to people playing well,
right?
Not because everyone's hurt or crapping their pants, which seems to be happening to everyone on our team. That's how I described the Bayern LFC game before the match. I was hoping for goals to be as free-flowing as the poop from our players' butts in the past week or so, because there's just been so much illness. So yeah, let's get some score predictions on that note. I mean, I can't think of a better segue than just that. So Will, how do you think this game's going to turn out?
So I think United will pick on Trent the whole game. They'll double up on him and run that channel. And they'll score early, and then we'll score right before halftime, and then we'll score a penalty late. No, we won't get a penalty at Old Trafford.
It's Michael Oliver, though. That's the good thing.
That's true.
He's probably the best English ref.
That's true. I don't think that's a probably. I think he is for sure the best English ref. I don't know. This really could go either way. I need us to win, so I'm going to will us to win, and we're going to win 2-1.
You're going to
Gold star to you.
Yeah, I did.
Your own name as a verb.
I know what I said.
How many times have you
said not many. This is one of the few. Dear listener, you are one of the lucky people to have ever heard it.
That deserves a 5-star rating on your podcast service of choice for that right there, listener. And Andrew, how you feeling about this game?
I'm pretty confident. I mean, they were pretty bad last week. I'm gonna go.
It's so tough. It's tough.
I mean, I want to say 4.
Wow. Okay.
I want to say 4, but I feel like fuck it. 4-1.
Yes.
Does Andrea Dosena come on and get the 4th again? We just register him on Saturday and he's good to go.
I wouldn't mind it, but I think it's going to be Shaqiri to get the 4th.
Nice.
I like it.
If we win 4-1, they better sub Ox on. Is all I'm saying. Just to let him like poop on midfield or something. That please.
I don't think he was one of the sick ones though.
That's fine.
Or heck, sub Ox or sub Glatzel on with his new deal. Just get that boy on. But I think this is going to be tough. I think it's going to certainly wake us up. Thankfully, it's not early as hell. It's 8:00 Central Time, so it's a nice cup of coffee in the morning. So I think we're going 2-1 victory. I think it's going to be a late goal. It's going to be very, very tense. But it all comes down to, in my opinion, their center back partnership. And I've got a sneaking suspicion that it will end up. I don't really have any evidence for this, but I think it will end up being Smalling and Jones. I just have a feeling that will happen, and that is a calamity center back pairing for them and a great center back pairing for us. So I think that's what it will come down to. Additionally, it will also come down to Michael Oliver's willingness to give Ashley Young a yellow card, because I hate that man. Not Oliver. I hate Ashley Young so much. He gets away with so much. He is worse than Fernandinho in the Poop House book, trying to keep it PG. But he's just, I hate him. But he never gets yellow cards, but he has to get one because he just rode Mohamed Salah 2 years ago at Anfield. He just was on his back the entire time. And I just don't like him. So I think we'll beat his team 2-1. And that'll about do it for us this week. Remember to tweet at us at YNTA Podcast, your thoughts, your opinions on the match, the United match and the Bayern match. And your score predictions for the second leg, your lineup options, and whatever you feel like tweeting at us. We're here to listen, and we'll probably reply to you. Andrew, Will, thanks again for joining us.
You're welcome.
Yep. You're welcome.
Is that all you have to say?
You're welcome.
Oh, do you want me to say more?
Oh boy.
Oh, Man City ended up winning today? What the fuck? Oh. I didn't.
I'm
what?
sorry,
They got a red card and then they won?
They win?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, Sterling scored in the last couple minutes. Ederson got the assist, so prepare for football Twitter to be
to nut all over Ederson for 3 weeks.
Like for Ederson, retweet for Allison for the next month and a half.
You know what? I watched part of that game, and I watched until Weston McKennie came off, and they were doing so good. He was so good.
Yeah,
and then they lost.
He got some cleats near the very sensitive area, which I think is why he had to come off.
Yeah.
At least he wasn't playing right back. This weekend he played right back, and it was really frustrating because he is not nearly as good as a right back as he is as a 10.
This is not Liverpool related, but I'm ready to be excited about the US again. Like I'm tired of them sucking. I want to see some good stuff.
Hey, we got a coach now. That's step one.
Yeah.
And that's all you need.
That's all it takes. Well,
Yeah,
now that we got a coach, we can like get better players, right? Because like once you get a good coach, you can like
sign people,
players, and sign people, and like we'll get some backing from like Bill Gates or something.
Trump will give us money to buy players.
You know that Bayern loves soccer.
I did.
His favorite sport.
I know.
And like teams that miss the World Cup, they get early picks in the draft, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So we're set.
Yeah,
we're good.
I mean, you can see how well the draft picks did for the Dutch. They got to the Nations League final round, I guess, if you want to nitpick. All right, we've just gone off on a tangent.
Oh, I thought this was like after.
No, I haven't stopped recording yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll let Joseph edit this where he sees fit.
Hey, Joseph.
But for now, bye-bye.